شنو قصدي؟
انتشار؟
لا مو انتشار، يعني كان شيء شلون الزجر مال
Doctor, explain in English and we will understand.
نفهم الانجليزي.
Okay. Because in Iran, in high school, they studied this subject completely, and I should explain more than this. But I don't know about your background in high school. You know, I will study from the first. I will tell you an introduction. I will introduce you electron transport chain. I will tell you about respiratory control, the chemiosmotic theory, uncouples, critical acid, and summary phenomena.
Guys, at first, why do you eat food? Why?
To have ATP.
To have energy. How is energy produced?
These carbohydrates become small pieces, and through a chemical reaction inside our body, it's become ATP, and it produces ATP inside the mitochondria, and then we have energy.
Good job. Not just about carbohydrates, everything. For example, this burger have carbohydrates, have lipids, have proteins, fiber, and everything. All of them should break down step by step and produce something. Maybe they can produce ATP directly or not. On the other hand, the products that produce during the metabolism should enter a process under the electron transport chain in the inner mitochondrial membrane to produce what?
ATP.
ATP. What is ATP?
Adenosine triphosphate.
It is our currency for energy producing. Okay? You can see that you need, for example, in Iraq we need dinar for buying something. With riyal, I can't buy anything. This is exactly the same. For example, with glucose, you cannot produce energy. It should convert to ATP. ATP is exactly like currency for your body, all of your body. And on the other hand, we should use oxygen to have more ATP. Adenosine triphosphate. Who asked this question? What? Adenosine triphosphate. The adenosine is adenine and deoxyribose. Okay? And about the thing that we explained about, we consume food to produce ATP, and a little of that energy may be waste as heat. But the large amount of that will convert to ATP in normal situation. And it can produce energy for our movement, our everything in our body, in cellular scale or in large scale. For example, for moving your hand, you need energy. For speaking, you need energy. For thinking, you need energy. With the form of ATP. Okay? And about the conversion of food energy to ATP, as our friend explained, at first, we have different components in the food: fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. Am I right? We will eat them, and they enter our gastrointestinal system. And they start to breaking down to fatty acid and glycerol. Am I right? Fat will breaking down to fatty acid and glycerol. Carbohydrate will breaking down to
Glucose.
And protein will breaking down
Amino
acid. The building blocks of these components. After that, what is happening? They should convert to the intermediate. What is the intermediate of them? Pink or one of the most important intermediate is acetyl. Acetyl CoA. You will see this in you know, you mentioned about that. Krebs cycle. It is Krebs or citric acid cycle or tricarboxylic acid cycle. I will tell you in next slide. After moving through the Krebs cycle, we have what? We have electron transport chain or respiratory chain in the inner mitochondrial membrane. Guys, during citric acid cycle or Krebs cycle, we have you ever heard about NADH? Do you know this? NADH? In vitamins, didn't you study about niacin? Vitamin B3? Okay? It will convert to the NADH or riboflavin, vitamin B2 will convert to FADH2. Nicotine adenine dinucleotide. NADH or flavin adenine dinucleotide. Okay? These are producing during the Krebs cycle and they enter the respiratory chain and produce ATP for us. Be careful in this process, we need oxygen. Are we in the same page or not? We are not in the same page. Do you understand all of the parts?
No, not all.
I will explain. I know you are confused about these and electron transport.
That's a previous, that one, I didn't understand.
About Krebs cycle,
Yes.
I will tell you in carbohydrate session. I know, just tell you an overview.
Doctor, you said I will tell you, I will explain to you, and you asked us,
من العادة
do you
بيكتشف هاي
understand?
No, just do you know what am I saying? Yes, I am saying that we eat food to produce energy as the form of ATP. How? By this process. And I am here to say these processes step by step. But I'm asking that, do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm not expected to know about TCA cycle or electron transport chain. I'm here to explain this. Okay? And about the different ways of producing ATP, guys. When we ate something at first, we have the process under the name glycolysis. Glycolysis. Glucose convert to pyruvate. Okay? I will tell you about them. And we had Krebs cycle here and electron transport chain. What is happening here? We have ATP production. We have ATP production during oxidative phosphorylation. Or maybe, for example, in glycolysis, do you know about glycolysis? The lysis of carbohydrate, the breaking down of carbohydrate. It is glycolysis. When the ATP produced here, we tell that substrate level phosphorylation. Doctor, have you said you about this in enzyme? Substrate level phosphorylation. During the process of glycolysis, we will produce 4 ATP that we call that substrate level phosphorylation, and in electron transport chain, we tell that oxidative phosphorylation.
Okay.
Doctor, excuse me, can you explain slowly, because you explain fast and you pass something and we didn't
Okay,
understand.
okay, I tried.
Thank you.
Go.
So the summary of the last slide is we have 3 ways to produce ATP.
2 ways.
2 ways?
Yeah. Substrate level phosphorylation. When, for example, a kindness come here. For example, we have glucose 6 phosphate. This glucose attached to phosphate. Okay? The ADP come here, attached to this phosphate and produce ATP. Okay?
Okay.
This is substrate level phosphorylation.
Okay.
Another way is the way in electron transport chain. That electron will pass through this chain, and during this process we will have ATP.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Is it okay?
Yes.
Is it allowed to go for next slide? Yes. Okay. Again, guys, I am explaining in different ways to better understanding. Okay, I'm trying to explain in a good way. At first, guys, again, we have carbohydrates, fatty acids, and amino acids. They breaking down to CO2 and H2O. Am I right?
Yes.
The thing that you should know is the thing that the substances that produce in this process is NADH and FADH2. You should know about them. This is NADH that come from vitamin B3. Okay?
Okay.
Did Dr. Khalil explain to you about the coenzymes and cofactors?
Yes.
Yes? This is an important coenzyme that you should know about that NADH and FADH2.
Yes.
Okay? This is flavin. Adenine. Okay. So you should be careful that during our process, our metabolism, we have NADH and FADH2. After that, in electron transport chain, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Which organelle? In which organelle?
Mitochondria.
Mitochondria. Okay. The ETC will use this NADH and FADH2 to produce what?
ATP.
ATP. This is the whole story that today we will discuss on that. This is the whole story. Okay, that how it is happening.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
It's noisy. Why? I don't know why. Okay, the next thing I explained about this slide. And now, guys, I want to show you about the electron transport chain. What is this?
Mitochondria.
Mitochondria. Mitochondrial structure, you can see it here. Have outer membrane. Do you know?
Yes.
What this is?
Folds.
Inner membrane. What is this? Intermediate space. Intermediate space or intermembrane space. The space between outer membrane and inner membrane. Am I right?
Yes.
And we have some structure under the name crystal.
Yes.
Do you know what are they for? The
For
crystal?
increase the surface area of respiration.
Exactly. Increase the surface area.
transportation of electrons. You just said it.
Exactly, electron transport chain. This is the thing that I am saying from the first session till now. Electron transport chain. Electron transport here to produce
ATP.
ATP. I will tell you guys, the inner mitochondrial membrane is impermeable to lots of materials. Is impermeable to lots of materials. But outer mitochondrial membrane is permeable to lots of. Okay? So, I will explain about what electron transport chain. How we can convert the food to ATP. In this slide, I just explained about the thing that I told you about the electron transport chain. Guys, have you ever heard about carbolipid in fatty acid structure and in phospholipids?
We take only the basic knowledge about the lipid
Fatty
set.
acid
Yeah.
and lipids. We have a special phospholipids under the name cardiolipid. Cardiolipid is the prominent lipid in the inner mitochondrial membrane. It is related to electron transport chain. Okay? You should memorize this about the predominant lipid in the electron transport chain. Guys, in electron transport chain, we have different parts. Is there any question?
No.
He said, what is the electron?
Electron transport chain. What's the benefit of it? What's the process?
Cardiolipin or electron?
Electron transport chain.
I will tell you. I am explaining about that. Electron transport chain, actually, I will explain till the last session. If you don't get the point till the last session, I am here. Don't worry about that. In electron transport chain, we have different parts. Some parts are function as enzymes. Which type of enzyme? The enzymes that have filamine.
Like
Filamine.
NADH and FADH.
FADH2, exactly. Filamine containing the hydrogenases, or maybe in the form of filamine mononucleotide. Okay? Some part contain iron. Which part? We have centers of iron and sulfur, and also we have cytochromes that have heme. Do you know about heme?
Blood.
In blood, hemoglobin. Okay? Hemoglobin is a hemoprotein. Okay? Cytochromes is another type of hemoprotein that they work in the electron transport chain. And again, we have some complexes that contain copper. Okay? I will tell you about all of them in the other slides. Guys, this is an electron transport chain. Okay? This is electron transport chain. Guys, can you see the NADH?
Yes.
This is inner mitochondrial membrane. Okay? This is inner mitochondrial membrane, and this is intermembrane space. Okay?
Okay.
In inner mitochondrial membrane, we have different enzymes and proteins. What are they doing? They help us to transfer electron. From what? From NADH. From FADH2. Okay? NADH enter here from different process, from Krebs cycle, from glycolysis, from amino acid metabolism, from beta oxidation of fatty acid. The NADH enter deep
electron transport chain. We have 5 different complexes in electron transport chain. Complex 1, complex 2, complex 3, complex 4, complex 5 is ATP synthase. In the next slide I will show you. Okay? Did you
Okay.
get the point? Now, at first, NADH entered the complex 1. What is happening here? The electron will enter the flavin mononucleotide of this enzyme. After that, it will enter to the iron sulfur center. And after that, the electron will enter to the component under the name coenzyme Q. What is happening there? The electron comes from NADH, it converts to NAD plus, and the electron just start to moving here. Electron start to moving here. I will tell you. This is complex 2 that FADH2 come and convert to FAD. And you can see here again we have succinate dehydrogenase, FAD, and iron sulfur. Again the electron will enter coenzyme Q. After that the electron will enter the cytochrome B, iron sulfur, and cytochrome C. Cytochrome C again receive the electron and transfer to the cytochrome A and cytochrome A3 that have what?
Doctor, so why the electron entered to these complexes? And in each complex, what happened to the electron? Is it just transportation from one to one?
Yeah.
And stay the same here?
I will tell you what is happening during this transportation, guys. During this transportation, the thing that is happening is pumping proton.
While the electron just to transport from
Yeah,
one to another in the
just
same
transport.
flow.
The energy of that is consuming for pumping electrons to intermembrane space. Okay?
Okay.
Again, from this area, we will have transportation of 2 protons, and here we will again have 4 protons. Guys, you should memorize. About, for example, maybe I ask you in final exam, which component have copper? You should know that complex 4 have copper. Okay? Did you get the point?
Yes.
And these electrons just transported till when? Till the time that reach to oxygen molecule and produce water for us. Okay? Produce water, and on the other hand, pumping H plus or proton. Where? To intermediate space or intermembrane space. You can see again here another shape. The electron is transporting. The electron is transporting. Guys, it is mitochondrial matrix. This is intermembrane space. Okay?
Okay.
In inner mitochondrial
membrane, the electron is transporting and the proton is pumping to the intermediate or intermembrane space. Am I right?
Yes.
What is happening here? The protons come to the intermembrane space. Do we have a gradient or not?
Yes.
A gradient of what? What is accumulating here?
Protons.
Protons. We have now a gradient of protons that accumulate here. These protons tend to come back to the mitochondrial matrix. Okay?
Okay.
They want to come back to mitochondrial matrix. Guys, this is complex 5 that we call that ATP synthase. In this complex, we have a proton pump that the proton throw that come back to the mitochondrial matrix. And what is
It will
happening?
help in ATP synthesis.
Yeah, exactly. The ATP is synthesized.
So all of this transportation is for the electrons to make us protons, and the protons will produce ATP.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's
These gradients that occur in the intermembranous space is the most important part. Okay?
Okay.
All of you get the point?
لا الكترون
Thank you.
الكترون راح يفوت بالميتوكوندريا
اوكي.
راح يبدي يمشي يطب بمجمعات سكنيه بكل مجمع راح يسلم
زين.
من يسلم راح ينزل شنو عندنا بروتون يطلع من يطلع تقول لك البروتون بطبيعته راح يرجع يصعد ورا ما يتجمع من يتجمع راح يطب بالمجمع الاخير والمجمع الاخير راح يستقر هناك راح يكون لك طاقه وابوك الله يرحمه هي هذا بس انه نزل لي بروتون صعد لي طاقه خلص هذاك الحكي اللي ابغى زايده ما تبغى
هي حكت هواي وخبرتني والله.
هذا المشكله ايش قلت؟
لا والله قليلة
He is just complaining. I don't know what is happening. Every day he is like this. Yeah, you are just complaining. You are more like this. You are complaining. Blah, blah, blah.
Doctor, you explained everything and in details and in faster way. So we are very also we can't focus and the materials complex or something. How can
Guys, I try to shorten these all of things. I think for our students we have 80 slides for this subject, and just I bring for you 25 slides. I try to actually
Summarize.
summarize everything and say in the most simple way. I try to, but the biochemistry nature is not easy, you know. It's difficult. Yeah. What I'm trying to can transfer the information to you, but I'm happy that you can, all of you guys get the story.
Yes.
We are in the inner mitochondrial membrane to what? To transmit electron. To what? To produce proton.
And then proton enter to the inner membrane and synthesize ATP.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. And again, guys, this is show you the story in another way. This is show you the story in another way. Again, we have transferring electron in the complex 1. Guys, be careful. Be careful. The complex 1 pump proton. Complex 3 pump proton. Complex 4 pump proton. What about complex 2? Complex 2
Have the coenzyme.
don't pump any proton.
Mm.
Don't pump any proton. Just convert FADH2 to FAD plus and produce electron for transfer.
Do I need to memorize the number of protons that are pumped?
Memorize that all of the complex
too.
Yeah, it is good for question, MCQ question. Okay? I will ignore other parts for you. I think it is better. And be careful, we have H2O here. And guys, the proton again come to the inner mitochondria. This is the inner part of the mitochondrial matrix. The proton come here and ADP convert to
ATP.
ATP. Guys, if there was something here that produce a channel for us and transfer all of these H plus and proton to the mitochondrial matrix and block the electron entrance to the ATP synthase.
There's no ATP.
Exactly. We have lots of energy as heat. I will tell you, this process is uncoupling. I will tell you, we don't have any ATP. I will tell you completely about this. Guys, this theory that the electron transportation produce the chemical gradient of proton is a theory under the name chemiosmotic theory. Could you, one of you, tell me about the summary of chemiosmotic theory?
We have one electron enter the inner membrane, to the inner membrane of the mitochondria. This electron will transport. During this transportation, he will go to a complex. Each complex will produce one electron, except complex 2 will produce electron, not proton. Complex 2. Then
Pump proton,
Pump.
not produce.
what's the difference between pump and produce?
Pumping is just transferring and producing is making.
بامب يعني ضغط بس يضغط هو اصلا
Okay. Then this at the final stage, this proton will accumulate and then pump to the inner surface of the mitochondria and help in synthesize ATP.
Exactly. It is chemiosmotic theory. The chemi is because of ATP gradient, proton gradation, that electrochemiosmotic theory. The electron made the electrical gradient, and the proton produce chemical gradient. It is explaining how the electron transportation convert to H plus gradient and convert to ATP. It is the whole story about the electron transport chain. Guys, because we have the oxidation of NADH, oxidation of FADH2, we call that oxidative phosphorylation. Okay?
Okay.
Oxidative phosphorylation. And you can see I've written here complex 1, 3, and 4 act as proton pumps. Okay? And I've explained all of these things to you. This is the thing in a categorized way that I've explained you just for your study and better understanding. Guys, again, this is another schematic shape of electron transport chain. Did you get the point completely? Salam. How are you? Guys, I've explained you about uncouplers. Do you remember?
Yes.
You told me that if we cannot pump electron from the intermediate space to the mitochondrial space, the ATP synthesis won't occur. And this uncoupler sometimes is good, sometimes synthase or complex 5. And uncouplers, I will tell you about uncouplers. Guys, do you know about the mechanism of ATP synthase? ATP synthase is like a motor. When the electron pump here, when the the proton pump here, these parts of complex start to rotating. This is a protein with three-dimensional structure. Okay? This is start to rotating and convert ADP to ATP. It works as a motor that just rotating. You can see here that FO, we have two subunits, FO and F1. FO works as proton channel and F1 works as ATP synthase. Okay? This is the complex of ATP. I told about all of you high energy phosphate we produce during this process. Guys, this process should be controlled. Why? It should be controlled that the enough ATP produced for ourselves. It should be controlled in the process, in the situation that we need ATP. It can produce stepwise and efficient ATP for us. Okay? But the remaining free energy will waste as heat. Some part of this proton pumping is using for ATP production and some other used for producing heat. Can we call that wasting energy? What do you think about the heat? Heating is not wasting energy.
Temperature of the body.
At first, it is important for making our body in a stable temperature. On the other way, it is a procedure that's helping the respiratory chain to work continuously. When we don't need ATP, it wastes as heat. But when we need, it starts to producing ATP. It is important to, as our friend mentioned at first, for body temperature and have a continuous flow of electron here. Guys, this is the uncouplers that our friend mentioned about that. When?
Doctor, at any time that we don't need ATP and then heat will waste.
The electron transport chain is working.
Okay.
In situation that we have enough NAD and enough, we should have here enough ADP to work efficiently. If we don't have enough ADP, we have in starving situation ADP. When we are in actually feeding a state, when we ate a lot, we have lots of ATP. We don't have ADP anymore. When this ADP don't be available for this complex, we just have stopping working that and just producing heat. It depends on our body situation. We are in fed state, we eat lots of, for example, like today, lunch or not. Maybe we are in fasting situation. Okay?
Okay.
Did you get the point?
My question about complex 2. What the reason of that not pumping the electron and how the electron translates without pumping?
I can't enter the detail, but this is the complex that is related to Krebs cycle. Okay, this is in outer mitochondrial membrane, and this is the enzyme that structure is the way that cannot pump H plus here because of the structure of that.
So the electron translation from complex 2 to complex 3 directly.
Just electron without pumping proton. Okay? I've explained about these guys, about uncouplers. In some situation, for example, do you know about, have you ever heard about hibernating of animals? Hibernating polar bears sleep for a long time in the winter. Hibernating.
Yes.
Okay. In this situation, could you tell your friends in Arabic?
Yes.
They know it.
Okay. In this situation, for example, polar bear don't need energy because he or she is sleeping. Okay? Just this procedure is used to produce heat, to help that animal don't decrease the body temperature. It is uncoupling process, and some proteins are work in our body under the name thermogeny. Thermogeny. Thermogeny or uncoupling protein, use CP1. Guys, in our body, in polar bear, we have brown adipose tissue. Do you know about different types of adipose tissue?
Yes.
Which type of adipose tissue do we have? Brown and white. White is the form that is full of triglyceride. Okay, for storage, for being a fat person. But brown adipose tissue is the part of adipose tissue that helps for producing heat. In neonate, imagine a baby just born now. He or she was in the mother's abdomen, in a stable place. Am I right? With amniotic fluid. After going out and after being in environment, it is a thermal stress to that baby body. This brown adipose tissue again help the baby to have a stable temperature in those situations. With growing up, the brown adipose tissue start to decrease. We don't have a large amount of brown adipose tissue in our body, in adulthood. Okay? This is related to uncoupling procedure that when ATP synthesis doesn't occur, the temperature starts to, the heat starts to produce it.
So I stop my energy synthesis just to keep my heat.
Yeah, exactly.
So what happens when the person have fever? Is brown adipose tissue is affected?
Not about brown adipose tissue, but uncoupling may be affected in those situations. That the body temperature starts to increase. In some situation, the uncoupling procedure, again, not about brown adipose tissue, because lots of things can uncouple this process. Not just about brown adipose tissue. Brown adipose tissue, because of these proteins do that, but other uncoupler can do that again. Okay? We have synthetic uncoupler and some other situation that can uncouple these process. Guys, this is another schematic shape for uncoupling protein or UCP. You can see here that we have the proton ingredient. Am I right? The uncoupling protein pump all of the proton inside the mitochondria, and we don't have enough gradient for entering these complex 5 and producing ATP. Did you get the point? What is this? This is complex 1, 3, 4, and this is complex 5, ATP synthase. the uncoupling protein or UCP or thermogenin is here to what? To pump proton to the mitochondrial matrix. And now we don't have enough proton to pump through ATP synthase to produce ATP. And what is happening here? Heat production. Did you get the point?
Yeah.
Okay. This was related to UCP and about the clinical aspects, guys. If these enzymes in the inner mitochondrial membrane have deficiency, we have some mitochondrial myopathy and renal dysfunction. These are inheritable diseases that can affect the baby, and lots of situations they are fatal. And about the actually mutation in, do you know that we have mitochondrial DNA?
Yes.
Do you know about the structure of that?
No, but I know that.
Guys, the mitochondria, if I want to show you, the mitochondria do you know what is this? This is so ugly. This is circular DNA. Yeah, mitochondria have circular DNA. Imagine this is circular DNA.
You mean specific kind of DNA for
Yeah, in mitochondria we have different copies of circular DNA that some genes related to electron transport chain is in this, not in our genome DNA. And guys, could you tell me, start from the first, we have an ovum that come from mother, am I right?
So
And
sperm,
we have a sperm that come from
father.
father. Can you tell me, after that we have what?
Zygote.
Zygote. Could you tell me that these mitochondria come from mother or father?
The dominant one?
No.
Mother.
No. Mother. Why? Because just in the head of a sperm we don't have enough organelles. Just we have genetic ingredient. But in ovum is a complete cell that the sperm will inject the genome with that. And in lots of cases, maybe in some situation we have exception. But mitochondria inherited to both girls and boys from mother. And that's why the mitochondrial abnormalities transfer from mother to the babies. Did you get the point? And know that the mitochondria have DNA, have ribosome, have different organelles. And in this situation, mitochondrial DNA, if have mutation, we have mitochondrial encephalopathy, lactic acidosis, and a stroke.
Doctor, so the chance of inheritance of an DNA of mitochondrial disease is 100%.
Yeah.
Because
But
it's always from the mother.
Exactly. But in some situation, there is some exception that the mitochondria don't inherit it from mother, but the chance of inheritance in usual situation is 100%.
So if someone has a problem with mitochondria, she doesn't have to be married from first.
Yeah, it is very important. If they become alive, guys, mitochondrial deficiency is so fatal. In lots of cases, I think they won't be mature till they having baby, but they can transfer to the babies. And guys, at the end, this is a summary of our presentation about this part. Could you tell me the summary? You tell me the summary.
From the first.
Everything that you know, everything that you understand from this session. If I want to tell you what do you understand from this session, what do you say to me?
The electron